Stacey the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacey style. And today we are on week 6, and this is the final week of the new mini-series that I started called Deck Deep Dives, Intuitive Tarot, one card at a time. Welcome to Deck Deep Dives. This is where we slow down, listen to the cards, and build a real relationship with the deck beyond the guidebook. So for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. There are 5 other videos that you can also enjoy after you've enjoyed this one. We've been really getting to know the Under the Oak Tarot as a deck study, and it's really been fun and quite informative. So I'm really excited about hearing your comments below, finding out what you thought about this series. Have you enjoyed this deck? I also chose this deck because it is a deck that if you wanted to follow along with, you can absolutely do that. But if you don't have that deck as well, you can just watch it for enjoyment. You can even, kind of work this with your own deck as well. So let's dive in. And today we are exploring the integration and relationship with this deck. After this 5 weeks, let's find out how we can make this work for us. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so for the purposes of today, we get to use the entire deck again. I didn't have to separate anything, and we are going to do another 3-card pull, and we're going to just kind of really ask the deck. This is one of the things that I do all the time in my deck reviews, is we want to ask the deck how this deck wants to work with us if we want to work with it. And, we've explored the different aspects of the deck throughout this series, but now this is about kind of a more personal segment, how this deck wants to work with you. So our first question is, how do you want to work with me going forward? Oh, and I'm getting lost. I'm like, wait a second, I'm missing something here. So I've got to pull 3 cards. We're just pulling 3 cards at random. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Okay. So let's take a look at the 3 cards. Getting ahead of myself. All right, let's see what we got. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to actually replace this one because this one just keeps coming up in our video. And so we're going to do something that's a little bit different. Okay. Wow, 2 7s and a 6. That's fascinating to me. Okay, so we have the 7 of Wands, which we have not seen yet in our deep deck dive exploration. And 7 of Wands typically is read as a card of boundaries, a card of defensiveness, or needing to defend your boundaries or defend yourself. I also read the 7 of Wands as that zone of genius card where you have something that other people find very interesting, wisdom or skill set, and people come to you with their unlit wands, wanting to light their wands with your wisdom, knowledge, energy, love, support. And where that boundaries piece comes in is you need to know where your energy, excuse me, where your energy levels are at. You never want to overgive. Woo, sorry. And this particular 7 of Wands is really kind of cool because the wands aren't actually traditional wands. They're more like orbs of light with little flames in the center of them. And they're coming from her. They're coming from her own hand. She's creating it. Oh my goodness. There must be something in the air. We see a little wolf. A wolf's head peeking out. And so that, I feel, kind of addresses those boundaries where if she's not paying too much attention, she's not seeing the, sort of the danger, the potential danger that could be lurking. But you could also say she's working her magic and she's putting her light out there, offering. Okay, sorry, we had a little bit of a glitch. I'm not sure where it stopped, but I'm seeing here, she's got this, this wolf lurking in the tree, and maybe because she's sharing of her light, she's offering it, and she's putting that light out there to light her path, and also to offer it to others. maybe he doesn't need to like go after her and take something or steal something from her, where she has to defend herself. Maybe instead it's a situation where he's like, oh, she's freely giving me what it is that I'm needing, and so let me take that. The Chariot, also another 7. The Chariot, I love the Chariot card because the Chariot card is like, I always like to say it's the suspension bridge from Island A to Island B. It is the card that is going to, take you in a new direction. It takes you there pretty quickly, but not necessarily comfortably. I always like to say it's the taxi from the airport to your resort. Yes, your vacation has technically already started, but you wouldn't want to spend your entire vacation in that taxi. You're grateful for it. It's cramped, it's smelly, it's stinky. You're holding on the holy shit bar, as you're kind of going through multiple times because the driver is cuckoo and you're having to sit on your suitcases because, there isn't enough room. But if you had to walk to that resort and you had to carry all your stuff with you, that would have, taken a lot more time and would have been a lot more uncomfortable than the stinky, smelly, with the holy shit bar. So that's kind of that Chariot energy. It also indicates a level of victory, blending of the opposites to come together in some level of success and victory. And so really loving this card. There are a lot of different dimensions to this one. We have the cat and the cat's eyes. Maybe it's a panther that is hiding in the bushes with a big star, a big pentacle. On its head, we have a beautiful bird bath. Perhaps that's what the kitty, the panther, is looking at, is the bird who is quietly taking a drink from the bird bath. We have a lot of foliage. There are vines here, grapevines. So there is abundance in this environment. Once again, we are at night. We happen to pick 3 evening cards. Today, there's a lot of green in amongst the blue, so the heart blended with the intuition that is happening. She's blindfolded here, and it almost looks like she's hugging the charioteer. And of course, the charioteer here is another statued figure, a statued energy, dealing with a lot of moonlight energy, a lot of Cancerian energy that is happening here. So lots to interpret, lots to connect with here. And then finally, we have the 6 of Swords. What I love about this particular 6 of Swords, usually 6 of Swords is a card of support and grace. And you often see, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, a woman and her child sitting in a boat, and there is another the captain of the boat kind of thing, oaring the boat, and it indicates that you're moving on to some calmer shores. Well, in this depiction, I really love that what we're seeing here, and we don't know how she got up that high. We can only assume that she got support from all of her spirit butterflies that are around her, but she managed to get on top of this obelisk. And she is balancing somewhat precariously. But her goal here is to give her that trust fall. It's like the universe has got your front, back, sides, bottom, and top. Yes, you're blindfolded. You've got a wand or a sword, that you're kind of holding on to here to kind of give you a little bit of balance. What you're doing up here, maybe you're trying to get closer to your star, closer to your vision, to get away from the ice and the snow. You're trying to see what is available to you, thinking bigger, going bigger, allowing yourself to receive things that, I always like to say, shoot for the stars, because even if you hit the sky, it's still pretty amazing. And to always think about what's beyond the stars. What would it be like if I could, shoot beyond the stars? And that's what I feel is coming up here. We have some runes, that are, I want to say, very supportive here in terms of her journey. She's standing on the runes. She's standing on the ancient wisdom. And again, it's a nighttime scene. So a lot of that intuitive energy that's coming through. Okay, so let's explore the 7 of Wands, and we're going to dive into each question with the 7 of Wands. So 7 of Wands, how do you want to work with me going forward? Wow, we're getting a lot of the same cards. So the Devil card, and we know the Devil is the rebel. It's the shadow work. So I feel like this 7 of Wands card, when it shows up in your reading, it's always going to indicate to you where your vices, where your patterns might be coming up and affecting how you feel. Like, do I feel safe in my energy? Do I feel safe in my environment? Do I feel safe with this situation that I am asking this deck for guidance with? Helping you to understand where you're feeling safe and where you're feeling like you need to defend yourself. And it's usually going to be connected to an internal process, an internal cycle or a vice that you're having a difficult time moving through. So it's going to encourage you to look at the devil, to make the devil your friend, so that you, when you befriend the devil, you kind of take the devil's power, that the fearful power, you remove the fear from its power. And then it can only, I want to say it can only empower you to be able to break out of those patterns and cycles, or to at the very least be aware of how those patterns and cycles are affecting you. What types of questions or readings, Seven of Wands, do you support best? 10 of Wands, I love it. Rewards and the burdens that go with them. So that Seven of Wands energy, when it comes through with the card energy as a whole, it's saying, I'm going to always point out where you might be carrying too much in your life and in your world. What do you really need? What is a real desire? What really is going to get you to where you want to be? Because I want to support you in getting to your goal. I want you to feel connected to your soul space and your soul energy, but I want you to do it where you are, I want to say, not exhausted, not tired, that you're able to say yes and go right through to the end and then beyond. So that's, I feel, how that Seven of Wands wants to kind of support you in that regard. And the readings that are going to work best when this card shows up, the readings that this deck is really going to give you, is it's going to show you both sides of things. This part is really good about your situation, and this part maybe you need to work on. Maybe these are the things that you need to release and let go of. This is what role do you play? So Seven of Wands, what role do you play in my collection and in my intuitive practice? And from a deck perspective, what role do you play? So the deck, from this perspective, I feel really helps you to bring a sense of control to any given situation. I feel like it's going to give you that resilience that we all need when we're going through some challenging situations. And that Seven of Wands, I feel like the 7 and the 9 are kind of complementary, because she already kind of has things a little bit under control, but she isn't aware of this. She's not seeing this guy. She sees this guy and she says, okay, no, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to actually make your fire brighter. I'm going to make your light brighter. I'm going to send you some deeper wisdom, some deeper intuition, so that you understand that there's something else to look out for. I'm going to support you in this process. Interesting. Okay, let's do that with the Chariot. So when we're talking about the Chariot energy, how does this deck want to work with you moving forward? So obviously, if we're speaking of the Chariot and how the Chariot wants to help you moving forward, I feel like the Chariot is here to say, I'm going to get you to the other side. I'm going to get you to the other side of this situation or this circumstance. I might not get you there comfortably, but you're going to have the things that you need to get started. It is going to be a victory. Working with this deck is always going to give you a successful outcome, or always give you a successful path towards the outcome that you desire. So let's get a clarifying question around that. I want that one right there. The Star, yes. It's going to always take you to the other side where you can see a new vision, a new day dawning, something that allows you to go big or go home. This is a deck where she is dreaming, and then she brings the dreams into her real state. And the dream state, the imagination state, is a place where we are supposed to play. We're not necessarily going to manifest anything in the imagination space, but we need a place to be able to play with the potential outcomes, to decide what it is that we really want. And so I feel like that's why that Star card is coming through. Wow. I love that. What types of questions or readings are going to be best supported by the Chariot or by this deck? Four of Cups, very interesting. So the types of readings where you are feeling a little despondent, a little lackluster, a little like you're crying over spilled milk, that you're focused on other things, when you feel stuck, when you feel a delay and you don't know why the delay is happening. That Four of Cups energy, I feel, is going to help you, because the Chariot moves fast and wants to get you where you want to go. But the Chariot sometimes gets a broken wheel. Sometimes the Chariot gets stuck in the mud. Sometimes the Chariot needs some repair. And so that Four of Cups, I feel, is giving you space to integrate the messages, the information. So this deck is always going to provide a level of integrative space so that the messages it's giving you are going to be able to make sense. You're going to be able to apply that wisdom moving forward. All right. This is our kind of the long-term role. What role do you play in my collection and my intuitive practice? We have the Ace of Pentacles. So planting new seeds, really connecting to the magic of what is available, but maybe not what you have yet accessed. It's also going to encourage you to grow in your own wisdom and knowing, and to do it quickly, to do it in quick succession. To understand that I can blend opposites and get to where it is that I'm going. I don't have to be afraid of the opposites. I can sink my teeth into those opposites and know that it's going to get me to where I want to be. Very cool. Okay, and then we are going to do the same thing now here with our Six of Swords card. Okay. So, Six of Swords, how are you wanting to work with me going forward with this deck? And as a representative of this deck, Five of Cups. So it's also going to help you in those times of deep grief. And, I'm going to say to you, I do grab this deck a lot in those times when I am dealing with loss or sadness or grief, because it's a lighter deck. It's fun to work with. The images, even though they're passing on messages that might be hard to hear or hard to receive, the way they're sharing it, I'm able to receive it more. It doesn't feel so harsh. It feels like it's a gentler approach. So that Five of Cups wants to support the Six of Swords. In fact, she's up there because she has felt the grief and decided to overcome it in some way, moving on into a different pathway, opening herself up to a new portal of experience and existence. All right, what types of questions or readings does the Six of Swords and this deck support? Another 5. Wow. So it's going to support transformative energy. It's always going to provide transformative information. And the Five of Pentacles is the work and the effort that you're putting into what you're creating. Creating the things that you're needing, not crying over spilled milk, not worrying so much about what you don't have, but instead creating what it is that you need, and understanding that your power lies within that. That orange energy is the sacral chakra energy, and feeling that that's where that creative expression and flow happens, as well as our ocean of emotion. And so it's not about wallowing. It's not about woe is me. It's not about feeling like an outsider. It's about saying, okay, support and grace comes when I have the things that I need. So let me go out and either seek out or create or build the things that I'm needing. Wow, I love that. All right, and the long-term role. What role do you play in my collection and in my intuitive practice? So this is how this deck wants to kind of work with you overall. I love it. Another Ace of Cups. This is going to be a long-lasting relationship. I know this is for me, but I feel like anyone that wants to work with this deck, it will be a long-lasting relationship because it has so much to offer. It is a card that ultimately comes from a heartfelt space. It comes from love. It wants to see you and your life as bountiful and full and overflowing, wants to see you coming from that heart space and that soul journey. And it's going to provide you with guidance, endless energy to get you where it is that you want to be. Wow. And we have the peace dove, and the peace dove is going to drink from your fountain. And that means that it's blessing your fountain. It's blessing your energy. It's blessing your heart space. And so I definitely feel that there's a lot of connection here, especially that Six of Swords energy. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. So as you work with this deck, and I encourage you to work with this deck or to just watch the video, watch the series of videos a couple of times and see how you can really connect. Let's talk about it. Notice when you instinctively reach for the deck, or notice when you, at random times in your day, think about this deck or think about these cards or think about the characteristics of what we've kind of tapped into. And then I want to say, notice what questions you bring. What questions does it bring up in you? This is how a long-term relationship with a deck takes shape. And, we can learn to work with a deck over time. We're going to get different things from it. There are going to be times when we outgrow a deck as well. So you may work with this deck for, for example, 2 years, and then you're like, okay, I'm putting it away for a while because I'm not feeling it anymore. I have so many decks that I have gifted away to other people because I've outgrown the deck. I also have a lot of decks that I put away for a while and they come back again and they have meaning for me again. So this is an opportunity for you to really kind of dive into this deck and just see how it can improve your quality of life and to help you really get in touch with those, those core aspects of you. That's the beauty of tarot, is we get to tap into those core aspects of ourselves that are maybe only accessible through a subconscious text or a subconscious symbol, and gives us the permission to go deeper. I happen to be really about the images, and the imagery needs to speak to me. I understand the system of tarot, but I really prefer a deck that has a lot of unique imagery so that I can go deep into the story. And I feel like this Under the Oak Tarot is definitely a deck that allows me to go deep into the story. So that is our final video of this mini series for the deep deck dive of Under the Oak Tarot. I hope you enjoyed this. This is an easy deck to pick up if you want to work with this on your own, if you really like the imagery. I would love to hear your comments. Did you enjoy this? I love making all types of content, but it's fine if I'm just making it for myself and nobody else cares. Then I want to move on and make something that is going to make you, light your fire and float your boat. So would love to hear your comments. Please like, subscribe, share this content with anyone that you feel could use this type of guidance. And it's just been such a joy. Click the join button. Let's go a little deeper and explore this wild ride called life together. Learn how to become a fabulous phoenix. I would love to support you in that way or any other way that I can. Until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, we will see you on the flip side and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.